Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, oh, 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. So, one minute left. I've got a serious echo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome your faces to Essential Wrestling News. You guys know what to do. Leave us a like, leave us a subscribe, and welcome in to the Essential Wrestling News watch party for AEW Dynamite live tonight. OMG. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our second week streaming Dynamite live right here on the Essential Wrestling News on the Essential Wrestling News YouTube channel. So, let's bring up some of the matches that will be happening tonight on AEW Dynamite. Shall we? So first off, we have the Casino Gauntlet for the second spot at All in London at Wembley Stadium. MJF and whoever. So guys, who would you like to see? Right, let's start this again. So we have Nick Wayne, MJF, and Speedball Mike Bailey for the second spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All in London in 20 days. So guys, in the chat, let me know who you want to be the second man in the Casino Gauntlet. Is it MJF? Is it Speedball Mike Bailey? Or is it Nick Wayne? We then have Jungle Jack Perry versus Dean versus John Moxley. Sorry, I'm making no end of mistakes tonight, guys. Please forgive me. So we have Jungle Jack Perry versus AEW Continental Champion John Moxley, first round. And I do believe this is for the Continental Championship, if I'm not mistaken. So, personally, I would like to see John Moxley walk out of this because him and the Death Riders. I'm going to put a thing to you now, guys. Who would you like to see join the Death Riders? Would you like to see Jungle Jack Perry or someone like Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Speedball Mike Bailey, Darby Allin? You know, there are so many options who could join the Death Riders. We then have this particular match in another Continental first round match. Now, I do. So we have Jay White versus David Finlay. Interesting. David Finlay or Jay White? Who would you want to see be in the second round of the Continental there we go, just give me a minute, I'm just sorting something out. There we go. So, I personally want Jay White to win this match. I personally do. This is going to be interesting. We then have the TNT Championship, the Jet versus Chris Jericho, baby. Oh my goodness. Chris Jericho and the Jet. Who would you want to see walk out as TNT champion? Is it the Jet or is it a little bit of the bubbly Chris Jericho? Of course, guys, you know what I want to know. I want to know your predictions down in the chat. I really do. But so guys, we are just under an hour away from AEW Dynamite this week. So I want to turn your attention to a particular match that is happening at Wembley Stadium in just under 20 days. And that is the match for the AEW World Championship between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Now, I want to know your guys' predictions. Who do you see walking out of Wembley Stadium as the AEW World Champion? Is it Kenny Omega or is it the aerial assassin Will Ospreay? So, why I let you think about that. I also want to turn your attention to another match that is happening at All in London in just 20 days, guys. 20 days. Wow. And that is the tag team match between Christian Cage, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team title. Now, you guys are in control. I'm going to let you decide who you want to win. While you guys do that, I'm going to take a quick break and I will be back in just under 5 minutes.
So guys, welcome back to the AEW Dynamite Watch Party here on the Essential Wrestling News YouTube channel. And yes guys, we are just under 20 days away from All in London, and oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we have such a stacked card for All in London. And ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to inform you right here on the Essential Wrestling News YouTube channel, we will be streaming it live. Well, we will be watching it together. I will not be streaming it, but you will be able to hear the audio right here on the Essential Wrestling News YouTube channel. So guys, let's turn our attention back to the question I asked you before we went to the commercial break, and that was, who do you want to see walk out of All in London as the AEW World Tag Team Champions? Is it Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, or is it the Young Bucks? Now ladies and gentlemen, this is a match you can only dream of seeing. But the question I now put to you guys is, will Adam Copeland and Christian Cage walk out of All in London as your AEW World Tag Team Champions? So, we are going to turn our attention back to a couple of matches that are happening here tonight on AEW Dynamite. So we have, for the second spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In, the competitors are Nick Wayne, MJF, and Speedball Mike Bailey. Personally, I would like to see MJF get that second spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. But the question I now ask you guys is, do you think MJF really needs to be in this Casino Gauntlet match at All in London? That is the question I want you guys to answer tonight in the chat. Let me know. We then have Jungle Jack Perry in first round cup action against the AEW Continental Champion in John Moxley. Now, this is just hypothetical here. Could you imagine John Moxley and MJF in the final at say All in London. Wow, that would be a match to be really interesting. We then have Jay White versus David Finlay in first round cup action. Now, Jay White I am somewhat familiar with. David Finlay I'm not. So for them that are AEW diehard fans, can somebody give me some background on David Finlay? I would be much appreciated. And then we had the TNT Championship on the line. The Jet versus Chris Jericho. OMG. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know your predictions for this match tonight at Dynamite. Do you believe the Jet will walk out as TNT champion, or do you believe we could have a new TNT champion on our hands tonight in the name of Chris Jericho, baby? I want to know your predictions for tonight. So, we are 20 days away from All in London. Another match that is taking place at All In is Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale for the TNT. I can't remember the name of their championship. Is it for the... But I do know we've got Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale for a championship. So ladies and gentlemen, while I take a quick commercial break, let your friends and family know that the Essential Wrestling News YouTube channel is live for AEW Dynamite right here tonight, that starts at 1 a.m. UK time. I will be right back. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. So, I want to turn your attention to something that happened just over a week ago on WWE TV, and that is the return of Big Cass. O-M freaking G. Big Cass is now back in a WWE ring. But the question I ask you guys is, when will we see Big Cass in action? So guys, let me just bring up some of the matches that are happening tonight on AEW Dynamite. We have Nick Wayne, MJF and Speedball Mike Bailey in a casino for the second spot in the casino gauntlet at All in London. We also have tonight Jungle Jack Perry versus the AEW Continental Champion John Moxley. Now, I'm very unsure how this tournament is actually working. Is it 2 people will go on to the final? I don't know. We then have, of course, Jay White versus David Finlay. I do believe David Finlay is Finlay's son, if I'm not mistaken. But for you AEW diehard fans out there, perhaps you can correct me on that. And then what I believe to be the main event tonight will be the TNT Championship on the line. The Jet versus Chris Jericho. Very, very interesting. So, we are just under 26 minutes away from AEW going live on myaew.com. For those that are in the UK, you can watch AEW Dynamite on myaew. For them internationally, I am unsure, but you can find your own ways of watching Dynamite. Join us in the chat and be a part of tonight's action. So, while I'm here, guys, I'm just going to look up something, because I believe Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale are facing, I know they're facing each other at All In, but are they actually for a championship or not? That's what I need to find out. Oh, hold on a minute. Nope, we've got them. Guys, for them that are familiar with AEW, help me out here. The Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné match at All in London. What championship is it for? And guys, I hope you are enjoying this glorious sunshine that we are having right now in the UK. So guys, let me know your predictions for tonight's Dynamite, and I will be right back. Welcome back. Sorry, it would help if I unmuted the mic. So, this is just some of the matches that will be happening at All in London in just under 19 days as from today. We have the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Come on, Will. Then we have the AEW Women's World Championship match between Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. Now, I would love to see Willow Nightingale retain, but I do strongly believe that AEW are going to put a rocket on Mercedes Moné again. We also have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the Young Bucks. Wow. This is a match that I am quite looking forward to seeing at All in London. At this moment, from what I can see, there is only 3 matches announced for All in London. So, what other matches would you like to see happen at All In? So, the event will be held at Wembley Stadium in London, England, when AEW listings at 4:30 local time start time. So, I'm gathering the pre-show, the buy-in show starts about 4:30, and the main card actually begins around 6 p.m. I am led to believe. Now, a few years ago, I went to All in London. I was there to see Bryan Danielson win the AEW World Championship from, of course, none other than forgot his name. Strickland. That's it. Sorry, guys. I was there to see that match. I was also there to see Sting return to help Darby Allin. And if you are going to All in London this year, I want you guys to, wherever you may be sat, I want you guys to just think, what match you are most interested in. Because when I went to All in London a few years ago, guys, it was phenomenal. From start to finish, it was phenomenal. Now, the Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's World Championship. I just got this feeling that Mercedes Moné is going to walk out of All in London as the AEW Women's Champion. So guys, we are just under 15 minutes away from AEW Dynamite, and here are the matches for tonight. We have Nick Wayne, MJF, Speedball Mike Bailey for the second spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. We also have Jungle Jack Perry versus the AEW Continental Champion John Moxley in first round cup match. So, from what I can gather, the All Elite Wrestling Continental Challenge Cup. So, I'm hoping on Dynamite they give us a bit more information about this. We then have, of course, in another first round cup, Jay White versus David Finlay. We then have, in the main event, as I believe, the Jet taking on Chris Jericho for the TNT Championship. I would like to see Chris Jericho walk out as TNT Champion, but I very much doubt he will. So guys, we are 13 minutes away from Dynamite starting on my AEW or wherever you may be in the world. So, grab your snacks, grab your popcorn, settle in, and we will be right back with more breakdown.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. So, guys, during the break, I left you with a question. Who do you want to see walk out as the TNT champion tonight? The Jet or Chris Jericho? Let me know in the chat. Guys, ha. So, okay, we're getting more. Okay. So, guys, let's just break down one match in particular that I am really interested tonight about. And that is Jungle Jack Perry versus the AEW Continental Champion John Moxley. Now, I believe the Death Riders will have their biggest part in this match than we can ever imagine. Believe you me, guys, John Moxley isn't walking into this blindfolded. He is walking into this match with a plan. And I believe Serena Sophia and the rest of the Death Riders will be at ringside tonight. I really, really do. Because John Moxley cannot win without the Death Riders being at his side. But I'm not taking anything away from Jungle Jack Perry, because if I know Jungle Jack Perry, he will also have backup like Luchasaurus, the Young Bucks. He could have anyone. But the main question I want to know is it John Moxley going to do this on his own, or are the Death Riders going to be lurking at ringside? So, guys, we are 3 minutes away from AEW Dynamite going live on the My AEW network. So, guys, let me know what match you want to see happen at All in London. Because, guys, at this moment, we are three matches. So, what are your guys' predictions? Let me know in the chat. And guys, of course, welcome into the Essential Wrestling News Watch Party for AEW Dynamite. Wow, I cannot believe, guys, this is our second week at streaming AEW Dynamite. Wow. We are... Okay. Sorry guys, it was just a notification turn coming on. So we are 20... Well, we are either 20 days or 19 days away from All in London. But on the 23rd of this month, guys, Essential Wrestling News will be live for TNA Lockdown. So you are more than welcome to tune in then for that live stream. And just waiting for this to tick over. 1 minute guys, and I'll be with you. So guys, of course, you know what I want to know. What match are you looking forward to tonight? Come on. Nope. And guys, what are your initial thoughts on the My AEW app? Are you guys a fan or not? Because personally, I'm not a fan of the My AEW app. I reckon it's got some improvements to make. There are some good about it, and there are some bad about it. So guys, we are just under 2 minutes away from AEW Dynamite starting. Welcome into the Essential Wrestling News Watch Party for AEW Dynamite. Say hi to me in the chat throughout the night. I will be here throughout the night streaming this, but you have to find your own way of watching my AEW. So I will quickly bring up the matches for you guys again. Well, just before we start. We are at 12:59, which means AEW Dynamite will be starting any minute. So guys, we are at 1 a.m. and we should, in theory,
Days time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just heading to this stuff. Probably doing anything else. 13 minutes away. Ladies and gentlemen, he won the 2026 Owen Hart Foundation tournament and the right to challenge Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship at Wembley Stadium in London. How are you doing, guys? Are you good? Who's lost a lot tonight? Who's lost a lot of money? Anyone lost a lot of money tonight? I'm believing you. Go back. Listen up, next week I've got the honor and the privilege of being in the ring in Mexico again. One of the most important buildings in professional wrestling, the legacy, the history, the lineage. It's an honor being there. The Mexicans fans, I feel like they know when I'm having a bad day because they know how to raise me up, they know how to lift my spirits. I want to talk to you guys about something that happened to me last year. I was going into Arena Mexico for the first time. I was dead nervous. Just want to make a good impression. I landed in Mexico. Text message from my mum. Says, "Babe, can you call me?" Call me, mum. My granddad passed away. Honestly, a geezer that I model my life around. He's my hero. He's my inspiration. And just the idea. The idea that it wasn't going to see me ever again in the UK to wrestle, not at the O2, not at Wembley Stadium, and the bit that killed me the most, it wasn't going to be there on the day that I married my beautiful wife. It's all good though, because I know deep down if he was standing next to me, he'd go, "Oi, why are you crying in a Mexican toilet? There's people to entertain. Do a flip." I know that's exactly what I am. Because he understands it and I understand it. There's a certain responsibility it has to be a part of AEW. No matter how sad I feel, no matter what's going on in my life, I will leave every single minute of my body in its room for you. Defeated from the biggest night of my bloody life, and I'm in a Mexico City extreme fight. Why? Because I'm here to set an example.
18 days. Wow.
I understand the responsibility, and I hope everybody at home got to enjoy it. It sucked for me, but I'm so glad that so many of you guys enjoyed it because I know one person was watching at home on his sofa, not in the building, and that is our world champion, Kenny Omega. No. I know he was probably watching at home thinking, "Man, can Will pull that trigger? Can he pull the trigger?" And by the end of it, I bet you were saying, "Oh shit, he's gonna pull the trigger." So Kenny, I know that you're backstage tonight. Well done.
Well done! You got on the plane and you're earning your paycheck, you're showing up to Vegas. So if you're not doing anything, and Michael Nakazawa is done trimming your tiny Canadian testicles, why don't you come and grace us with your presence, champ?
Well, I was facing harsh words for the AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega. No. Wait a minute! Oh, brother. I'm talking about a downer. That's a downer right there. What business does he have out here? Well, the Vegas fans really appreciate it.
It's getting, well, we're here in Vegas, the birthplace of all elite wrestling. And like you, I wasn't on that first show, Will. I was watching intently. But while you were watching a place that you couldn't wait to compete, I was watching a place I couldn't wait to exploit. But I knew I needed the perfect tool to exploit this company, and I found it in a guy that I had raised from a 5-year-old boy to the greatest wrestler in the world at the time, Kenny Omega. And on December 2nd, 2020, Kenny Omega and Dr. screwed John Moxley, and we won the AEW World Title. And Kenny and I went on a run with that world title unmatched in this company's history. Then Kenny made a critical error. Kenny Omega thought he could do it without Don Callis. So on May 10th, 2023, Will Ospreay, I had to remind Kenny who his real daddy is. And during a match with Kenny and Moxley, I stabbed Kenny Omega in the face and put him in the hospital. Make no mistake about it, any of you. I've done more damage to Kenny's life than diverticulitis ever could. And it was around that time, Will, that I brought you here. Oh, yeah. I booked you at Forbidden Door in 2023 against Kenny Omega, where you finally achieved your lifetime goal of beating him when I was in your corner, in your ear, in your head. That's right, and I'll also remind you, when Kenny beat you in Japan, I was in Kenny's corner. So you see, Will, you see a theme here? I mean, you owe everything to me. Your national title run, your first match in Wembley, because of me. And now, just like Kenny, you think you're going to do this on your own, or maybe you think you can do it with Moxley. But wait, that's no longer happening either. So I'm sure you look at Wembley and you see the road to Wembley these next couple of weeks as paved with gold. But Will, I am here to tell you from the bottom of my heart, that road is not paved in gold. It's paved in blood. Your blood, brother.
Well, wait a second. From behind, RPG fights Rocky Romero. And then Jim is well. The Don Callis family descending on Will Ospreay and Ospreay trying to fight them all single-handedly into the subjectness of Doyle. Shoots to the body. This is a 4-on-1 monkey. What is this from, man? I mean, what's the Don Callis gives you the other two, that's the man. Self-storage over it. Comes the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, but not a tremendous sense of urgency. That metal pipe in his Rock Romero, check that out now. Feel on that kiss and I'm on the carpet. Dick goes to sweaty and I'm missing. Mark Thomas thinking better of it. Oh, this is smart from the whole bunch. Get on the right line. Oh, but Kenny Omega now. What's he gonna do here now? It's like he's struggling with some kind of decision here. Oh.
Well, I felt that. You see, when you talk from the heart, you have this way with words. I feel everything that you say. But the problem is, well, you wear your heart on your sleeve. And as much as you feel, you never think. What did you think would happen, Will? I warned you about Duncast. I warned you about John Moxley. We both knew about the guy who's running around calling himself the real world champion. He's both of our problems. But Will, it's made you sloppy. It's made you a fool, Will Ospreay. And you'll lose everything. But this isn't the man I want to fight at Wembley Stadium. But Will, I hope you understand. I can't help you like this again. From here on in, it's just me and you. I appreciate the help, but I didn't ask for it. And I'm not going to need your help. Thank you.
Wow.
Kenny Omega coming to the end of Will Ospreay tonight, perhaps for the last time before Wembley Stadium. Ospreay, though, thankful for the intervention of Kenny Omega. 100% back before, but that's a question of motives behind it. That's a heck of a psychological advantage right there. And Tony, just like we saw Will Ospreay do a couple weeks ago, Kenny Omega pulled up short. Did not hit Will Ospreay with that pipe, just a reminder of the damage that Omega could have inflicted tonight. Is his word and it's in the mind of Will Ospreay. Gentlemen, 18 days away, it's going to be one hell of a title match. 18 days away from Wembley Stadium, and speaking of the Cathedral of Football, the first ever AEW Continental Challenge Cup will culminate at Wembley Stadium in 18 days' time. Not only will the winner leave as being the first ever Continental Challenge Cup champion, they will also leave with the AEW Continental Championship. And here, let's take a look at the rules. There's absolutely no outside interference, no time limit. 16 wrestlers compete, 8 blind draw matches, 8 winner compete in 4 blind draw matches. The semifinals take place at the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland, and the finals take place at Wembley Stadium. And it got started this past Saturday night at Collision. 3 first-round tournament matches. We saw Claudio Castagnoli leave Ace Austin Lane, and he moves on to the quarterfinal round. Likewise, Orange Cassidy defeated Matt Sydal, and Eddie Kingston defeated Jake Doyle to earn their spot in the quarterfinals. And tonight, the first round continues. David Finlay, Jay White will meet one-on-one. Also, 2 men who have won every title champ, John Moxley. As from the events we saw last weekend for Iceland, Mexico, Mexico challenged the champ, Kevin for the TNT championship. Mexican champ on the ring against Persephone and Hikaru Cheetah. And we will hear from the newly crowned AEW Women's Trios Champions, Paige, Cheetah. Chris Statlander. You're live from Las Vegas. But coming up next, a three-way match for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet matches all in London. Speedball Mike Bailey, Nick Wayne, the man who returned to AEW 1 week ago, Michael Jacob Friedman. Andrade El Idolo will be the first to the ring in Wembley Stadium. But wait a second. Next week, there is a gauntlet qualifying match. I'm going to win that match. I'm going to go to Wembley. I am going to remind the world I am your true champion. It's a flyweight bout for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet matches in London. Introduce the participants first. Playing you all in New York, weighing 126 Maxwell. Last week, Andrade El Idolo clinched the number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. And we're going to have Shufton Roberts. Don't know what the purpose of that was.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one true champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF.
Paul, what do you make of this one true champion line that MJF he believed because of no outright involvement in the World Championship match back at Beach Break last month that Omega's reign as World Championship as champion is invalid.
Well, that's probably denial on MJF's part, too. Next from Seattle, Washington, we're going to Sam Patches.
And when we see that amount of growth out of this young competitor over the last few months, and Tony, those early spots in the Casino Gauntlet match are crucial because it's a match that can end at any time. First pinfall or submission declares the winner, whether or not all the competitors are at this match.
It easily could be number 1 and number 2 in the ring, and that would be it. No one else would be able to get in the ring. We would take a gauntlet match where gentlemen have stayed in the back, waiting for the return, and the match is over. As for Montreal, Quebec, Canada, we're going to 70 to the pound. Speedball, Mark Taylor.
I'm saying the retirement by the one true champion. He's sowing seeds of doubt in the locker room. He's saying enough, he's spread the rumor that it could become true.
Well, gentlemen, Speedball Mike Bailey had a tremendous match a week ago at Arena Mexico, vying for the international champions. Exclamation on Saturday, one of the great matches we ever had on Mexico, to be honest with you, against Myron Reed. If you'll recall, the wrestle, it was a tremendous one-on-one matchup. Let's bounce back.
Tony, I want to draw your attention to MJF's shirt. It says better than you in Spanish. And of course, Andrade El Idolo. After that attack, we saw last week, and we rewatched it just moments ago, Andrade El Idolo not cleared by AEW medical staff to travel tonight to Las Vegas. So, MJF, I mean, a lot of bravado shown, trying to get the head of that's not even in the state.
Well, that's what the push is, MJF. He gets in people's heads, makes them insecure, makes them nervous. It makes everybody nervous.
I'm going to let these two twinks battle it out. I'm going to pick their scrawny little bones, and I'm going to get one step closer to proving to the world I ain't just the one true champion. I am the undisputed world champion of AEW. Thank you, Shivani, you fat old prick.
Completely unnecessary.
Absolutely unnecessary.
Well, I noticed he didn't pull the hit off your ball.
Give it a little leg and I'll attempt it.
I'm not a tough guy, but I tell you what, I'd like to punch him in the mouth.
Yeah, of course, we know after what transpired last week, Andrade illegally earned that #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match coming up in 18 days' time, all in London at Wembley Stadium. Andrade on social media did admit that after MJF's attack,
Look at this psychological warfare. This is how MJF is telling everybody these two great competitors are still picking up.
MJF dropped to the floor. Oh, look at one. Chill. You see at the bottom of your screen, Andrade Illegal's message on social media saying that he's going to be out, but he's going to be better than ever, and he's going to be ready for London and whatever comes his way in 18 days' time.
Well, really working hard with Nick Wayne. These guys are so fast and so talented. I do not get this strategy from MJF. Of course, he's been on Twitter now, but I mean, this match can end right now, and he's going to be on the outside. I bet that's part of his strategy, Tony. He's picking his spot, he's picking his angle. He's like a hyena. He's waiting to pick the carcass at the most opportune time.
And he's got his Dynamite Diamond ring back. Of course, we saw that he bloodied up Andrade, thus Andrade, as we mentioned, seemed
Not just letting him up, Tony, but cracking him in the back of the skull with that AEW World Championship title belt, not the legitimate title belt. MJF's triple B that he claims makes him the one true champion. But
Let's make a reach because to all the senoritas that were upset on Andrade.
Speaking of Mike Bailey,
Boy, Mike Bailey brings it up.
speaking of Mike Bailey, peaks and valleys for the last 7 days, recovered next day collision and could earn a spot at the #2 entrance in the Casino Gauntlet match with MJF.
Hope he puts himself up here.
You need that heavily tipped leg. He's been moving well.
Next time we go to that tipped leg, he targeted.
He has a knee injury. He suffered in a match. Long ago, Mr. Dropkick from Speedball Mike Bailey.
Too soon to celebrate, Mike.
And from behind was Nick Wayne, but Speedball Mike Bailey ready for him. Now Speedball going momentum. Nick Wayne slips out of the corner, charges it with a pair of feet. Away for him.
Nick Wayne is good. They're meetings.
Impeccable timing. Sweeping the leg of Speedball Mike Bailey. And down Bailey goes.
I think we would all agree he's a phenomenal MJF pro wrestler. But he is one of the lowest forms of life on the planet.
Yeah, so his pawn's gone 100%. 100%.
His pawn's gone, but he's one of exceptionally talented pawns.
The pawn's got attitude. He's propelled him to the top.
And look at this, getting Nick Wayne in on the action. Works smarter, not harder, than the former AEW World Champion MJF. Although one true champion, he's going to give him talent.
Last week, I said, well, I'll get it next month, and Dynamite explained that MJF lost the first time he's been in the ring since then. So,
Taylor's been burning the candle like the lens for the last 7 days.
come on, Nick.
You gotta understand Nick Wayne is MJF. Such an incredible star that MJF is. This is probably a big highlight for him, you know?
Slash Brett and MJF. Because Nick Wayne didn't realize it.
Well, speaking in the brawl.
You first. His first finish in this three-way match.
There you go. I don't know if the extension of the 100%.
Right there.
But Nick Wayne, the prodigy of professional wrestling, is not MJF.
out of the ring, and now Wayne turns his attention back to Speedball Mike Bailey, but Bailey, he's had a chance to recover, Paul.
All that messing around MJF and Nick Wayne getting back Bailey.
Wayne hammers the elbow down onto the kneecap of Speedball. And hammer throw into the ropes, Polish hammer. Hammers all over the place, but he's the foot of Speedball Mike Bailey that went out of that exchange.
Speedball's digging deep right now. He's taking quite a beating.
You know, as I mentioned, even though he lost the international championship match, I think Speedball right now is putting his very best here in AEW.
100%. He's been on fire consistently the past few weeks, showing us another level of his talent.
The shooting star press does not connect. Oh, dragon suplex does connect for Nick Wayne. Wayne goes over. Either way, Speedball was right. Works the knees of the chest of Nick Wayne.
Oh, that's a good scrambler. Yeah, Nick Wayne's smart. Roll up, get him right. Get him composure.
But Tony, you've called enough Speedball Mike Bailey matches to know that he has tremendous range when he's coming off the ropes, even if his opponents are on the outside.
Yeah, he can elevate, there's no doubt. Even right now,
You'd say he's got some pops.
watch out the other side. Boy, he's picking these spots like this is Paul.
So smart. I mean, say what you want to about MJF, but he's got to be one of the smartest wrestlers going.
MJF, the heat seeker. Tommy won the AEW World Championship late last year. Walks out, match moves to Wembley Stadium, the number 2 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet. MJF to step away from the axe for 59 seconds to go. Come on. MJF asking for an assist.
I'm busy right now, baby. Sorry.
Speedball Mike Bailey on himself up the assistance to the on desk as well. Nick Wayne not moving too well. Speedball though, they have damaged his rib, or not to that left side of his body.
There's more of Yeah, sorry.
The camera's off, but you just kind of step on his hand.
Yeah, there was. I'd like to step on his face right now.
Nick Wayne. Wayne whipped the leg of Speedball. And Wayne now has the upper hand. Be in pole position here to capture that number 2 spot. Wayne.
He loves the hot wheels here. He lives in that hot ring district all the time.
Shot to the midsection. JF. Whoa! JF swept out the leg of Nick Wayne.
Tommy, man, strategic. MJF, he's literally picking these guys apart, making them beat each other. He's expending the least amount of energy possible to dominate this match. So smart.
Choking Speedball Mike Bailey over that middle rope is MJF referee Bryce Remsburg.
Got a 5 count to break it.
He comes back inside the ring. MJF. These early celebrations, Tony, can sometimes prove costly in matches.
Yeah, and what happens here again as well. There's absolutely nobody like him in AEW. Thank God.
To Bailey's head, that turnbuckle down the corner. Who will join Andrade Alila as a second entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match in all over in 18 days from now? Will it be Nick Wayne? Will it be MJF? Or will it be the man ascending the ropes? Speedball Bailey. We are on the verge of finding out in this 3-way match. Bailey to the top.
Oh, I thought that could be the move.
Nick Starr tries MJF was left. Some people.
Look how smart MJF is right now. Get out of the ring. Get some breathing room.
Nick Wayne gonna Fisher's Buster, but instead, sticking arrow from Speedball. He's got Wayne down in the corner,
And he could win it right now. Excalibur with MJF on the sideline.
Speedball to the top. Finds his balance once again. That was close. Wow, that was close. Nick Wayne able to kick out, keeping his hopes alive in this match. Remember the Casino Golf match at All in London? It can end at any time, the first pinfall or submission, whether or not all competitors have entered the match. So the early... And now the... Just up there in time to break up the pinning predicament. There he is, a fresh, if you will, MJF. Wayne, fading high. Nick Wayne looking for Wayne. On the knee, I think Nick Wayne, the net came out of the mat. Stickball Mike Bailey, the shooting star grabs to break things up. One man took the rope back along, took somebody to the stomach on that suplex. Bailey still dealing with a rib issue from that springboard moonsault to the outside. Bailey comes up and gorgeous rock Nick Wayne. Shimbo right decided to jog in the air. Wayne is down. Speedball Mike Bailey looking for that ultimate. Put that from toss it into the outside. It's a salt to the earth. And number 35. Number 35, the All Casino Golf match. I'll tell you, after that might be despicable, but one doing super value. Why wouldn't there? Why wouldn't impeccable match from Maxwell Jacob Friedman? We know at the Casino Golf match, numbers 1 and 2. Andrade Alonso. And the man with the microphone, MJF. I told you guys what was going to happen. I told you I was going to win because the champ always wins.
Wait the champ.
The champ's never lost a day in his life. Which is why I'm walking into Wembley and I am leaving with that Casino Gauntlet contract. And there's nothing anybody in the back can do to stop me. It's easy to say without Andrade Alonso here, but or did we speak too soon? The Browns.
Granny.
Boy, look at that face of MJF. I don't blame you. We're all kind of stunned here. Oh, cut it.
That's too funny. I'm sorry. How do you know? Huh? Here. I'll just go in here. It's because I walked his ass last week. And he ain't showing up because he's a gutless little worm. You know who else is terrified of me? Kenny Omega. You know who else is petrified of me? Will Ospreay. And both you boys better pray to God. Get down on hand and knee. Oh God, please make me face MJF. Well, I got bad news, boys. God ain't listening. It's just the devil talking. And sooner rather than later, you will find out the hard way that I am the one true champion. After certainly believes in himself, victories at Casino Golf match, which would give in line to challenge for the AEW World Championships with 1 week's notice. But also taking place at All in London, 18 days away, Divine Dominion, defend the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship against the Brawling Birds. And let's take you back to the fallout from Collision this past Saturday night.
So this is what it's like to be a flown bird. You spend every day drinking and fighting like two bull-kids walking British stereotypes. And you campaign for a tag team title match on the biggest show of the year just because it's your home country. So typical, so sad. You tell everyone you're undefeated. That doesn't mean anything when you've never faced us. But I think we've given you just a taste of the hell that awaits you. In front of your family, your friends, your husband, your biggest moment will be our greatest massacre. So here's to the brown birds. They had a good run.
Well, coming up this Saturday night, a collision, Divine Dominion, Megan Payne, leaning across AEW World Tag Team Champions will be in action. And then, of course, 18 days from now, all in London, Divine Dominion, the challenge by the Raw Birds for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. But coming up next, live Dynamite from Las Vegas, the Continental Challenge Cup continues. First round action. David Finlay, Switchblade Jay White, one-on-one. But right now, let's head to the back of the hardcore legend, Mick Foley.
Hello, AEW fans. This is the hardcore legend Mick Foley backstage with the Bang Bang Gang. Tonight I'll be talking with Switchblade Jay White. Jay, it seems like your wish has been fulfilled. You and David Finlay tonight under Continental Cup rules, which means no outside interference allowed. And that's to make you happy.
Yeah, that's very true. But first things first, Mick, officially, welcome to the Bang Bang Gang. Very good, very good. You see, I thought the stars had aligned perfectly for myself to return at Forbidden Door. David Finlay about to steal one of his shillelagh, and I could not let that happen. But since then, David, the dogs, the Death Riders, you guys seem to have gotten the best of the Bang Bang Gang at almost every turn. But David, Johnny, your days are numbered. And David will wrestle more times than I care to count. Tonight it is one-on-one, one more time, and I will beat you. And Moxley, I pray that you make it through tonight, so it can be you that I go on to beat, to win the Continental Cup and become the new Continental Champion of AEW. And David the Dogs, Death Riders must. If you ain't down with that, we got two words for you. Guns.
Okay, you do.
Yeah.
round of the C3, the Continental Championship. Big boys ready to step into action, and we're ready to go to ringside of the Rumble. Renee Paquette.
These two men that know each other so incredibly well. Chihuahua told me in a previous life, they would have been a brother. But tonight, this is no family affair. Two men looking to annihilate one another, to advance in tonight's studded death tournament in the Continental Cup.
Thank you for Renee. Of course, all the matches in Continental Cup are blind draws, and this is a big one. This is a grudge match. And it's just how things have shaken out, and it's an opportunity for these two men, or one of these two men, to get a step closer, claiming the Continental Championship.
And from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing 223 pounds, David Finlay.
Everyone is saying from the ringside, there's no time for these Continental Cup matches, and earlier today, David Finlay had this to say about his opponent.
You and I both know you have what it takes to beat me. You even have what it takes to survive me.
We all know it tunes that the Lorraine's all better.
Friendships are dead, and it goes. So this Wednesday in Las Vegas, I'm just going to finish the job and put you on the show for good, and that puts me around to the Continental Cup.
Now, apologies, that was this past Saturday at Collision, but David Finlay. Some harsh words for his former friend, Switchblade Jay White. Finlay charged immediately at David Finlay.
Look at this. Jay White is chasing David Finlay. He shows you the magnitude of this grudge match.
In 2015, these men joined the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo. They debuted as young bucks from New Japan that same year. Over the course of their New Japan careers, would share the ring more than 100 times.
Good gracious.
Finlay's head bounced.
Punched the whole announce table with his skull. It's why I love this one of those Continental Cup classics. No outside with interference. Just these two. Suppose these guys have such a heated blood feud. This is the kind of wrestling I love.
Of course, the action in the C3 Continental Challenge Cup take place tonight on Dynamite and will continue. The first round culminates actually on Collision this Saturday night, 8 Central TNT HBO match. Brian Cage, ex-Central members of the Don Callis family, will face off, as will Conglomeration members Kyle O'Reilly and Robert Strong, as David Finlay elects not to cover, instead right hands to the head of Switchblade Jay White and Giora Shabbat and Nigel McGuinness, our broadcast colleagues. First round action this Saturday night on Collision 8 Central TNT HBO Max.
See, I think this is a mistake by David Finlay. I mean, the idea is to advance, and that's obviously, I mean, that's very obvious here. I'm surprised by that, especially somebody as smart as David.
Jay White, a waist lock, duck the back up on the backbreaker. Cover, shoot. You mentioned 100 plus times these two men have shared the ring with one another in New Japan Pro Wrestling. More often than not, in the early days, they were on the same team. It was 2018. David Finlay portrayed Switchblade Jay White, and that was the genesis of the rivalry between these two men. But it seemed to culminate in 2023. Finlay once again attacked Jay White and usurped White's position as the leader of Bullet Club.
Of this boots in the bar.
Jay White trying to drag himself back up to a vertical position. The rivalry tone was thought to be dormant until earlier this year. Jay White made his long way to return to AEW from Vindoor, and he targeted David Finlay related to that double chain match last month at Redemption.
Well, look what David Finlay has done here at AEW. He's done with the aid of Clark Connors, his teammate with the Dogs.
And sometimes the deadliners, as we've seen at Triple H down the run, can't do that tonight. No outside interference, one-on-one. Let's see how he fares against a man who hates him.
David Finlay now introduced to the ring. Courtesy of Switchblade Jay White. White using the chop. Sends Finlay back into the ring. Suplex over the top, Jay White. Like look, couple made.
Oh, that time Finlay was fighting Paul to get out.
Despite Jay White had that nice cover hooked in there deep. Finlay had a big knee kick out of that. I'm really fascinated these two competing against each other. There's so much animosity, there's so much bad blood. But also they're very similar in their attack styles, very impressive. Do you think that is a part of them coming up in the New Japan Pro Wrestling just at the same time?
I'm trying to understand it, but I'm feeling nice.
Beautiful neck breaker.
With the respect, I feel the hatred. This is an incredible match.
Well, this C3 Continental Challenge Cup match continues live on Dynamite. Now, lateral press, shoot. David Finlay.
Finlay saw that Excalibur that Jay was hurting, man. He took advantage of it. Jay just blinking his eyes there, man. He's in trouble.
Paul, these two men just talked about how much, talked at length about how well they know each other. And when you're traveling, when you're competing in Japan, not only are you spending time in the there's a lot of hours on those long bus rides and stuff, but it's plenty of time for you to talk over strategy, your philosophy of professional wrestling, share ideas.
That's the thing that interests me about these two, because these two have studied each other. They've grown together. You know, there's so much in life that's part of the animosity that they have towards each other. Well, it's exciting for them to sit here and watch and just to see how they go back and forth with attack and the viciousness and the innovative. This is exciting stuff and a perfect setting in this Continental Club Classic. No outside interference, just these two. This is its raw, purest form. Love this Continental Club Classic.
Challenge Cup.
Challenge Cup. You know, that's why you're here. You have that nice understood for that.
At least I did it international.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Cover made. And Tony, when these two men were competing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it was Jay White that first broke out as a single star. And despite them starting in the dojo at the same time, being relatively the same age, David Finlay felt like he was overlooked, that he had everything, he had the same, if not more to offer than Jay White was, or Jay White did. But Finlay was not being appreciated for it.
Well, you know, and I understand that, and I get it. I mean, Finlay's got a great lineage. What generation wrestler he feels that maybe that he should have stepped ahead of Jay White? Look, Jay White's been a great performer. One thing that has set him back, though, is that he has been injured here at AEW a number of times. 15 months off from an injury, and that can slow you down, Paul, as you know.
100%. It changes your evolution, it changes your flow. You're working from behind, it's tough.
And speaking from behind, Switchblade Jay White dragged Finlay down to the ring and unleashes a flurry of right hands, but a chop across the windpipe staunches the momentum of Switchblade Jay White.
That's that fourth generation Dave Finlay. He's so efficient in his cutoff tactics. Nothing fancy, direct punches from, oh! Nice dive and uppercut elbow in the corner.
Finlay in control of his longtime rival, this grudge match. Not only is it a grudge match, it's a first-round match in the Continental Challenge Cup as Finlay looks over.
I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive cover on that, but again, there's a lot of ego being played into this.
Welcome back to the AEW Dynamite first round action in the Continental Challenge Cup. Switchblade Jay White, David Finlay. Tony has been in the driver's seat for the last few moments.
Yeah, he has approached this match with some venom in his veins. Whoa, but that may have changed the complexion.
That was a little bait and switch there. I think Jay White sucker fit in there. David Finlay got a little aggressive in that corner. Switchblade was able to counter that. And suplex in the second turnbuckle.
So Jay White's gonna go
He's known as a switchblade. That was a blade chop right there.
as he opens up quick.
Ducks underneath. Ready for Finley. Connects with the DDT. Jay White. Whoa. Oh, that was close.
Jay White is hooking those covers deep, using all his body weight on the shoulders, hooking the legs. Dave Finley's having to fight for everything to get out of this.
Well, these two men have met more than a dozen times, one-on-one. This is their first head-to-head meeting in AEW, and this is actually David Finley's first one-on-one. Oh, wait a second, lead runner. That's what for right there. Great counter by Finley. He's ready for Jay White. Finley, the kid's countered in his own turn. And now, David Finley, the backbreaker by Paul. Wait a second, a cover again, far leg, hooked in. Jay White able to kick out. Do you think David Finley may have been too accustomed to competing as a tag team as part of a unit here, showing some signs, maybe some ring rust in terms of singles competition?
Well, you're definitely going to change up your thinking because you are on your own. That's expending energy. How do you attack? How do you recover? But I can also see just the animosity and the disdain that David Finley has. The switchblade is there, it's legit. It fires him up, use him, the way these two go at each other is just, it's so fun to watch.
David Finley, Jay White on the top rope, White goes clutching on desperately to that top turnbuckle. There's some right hands to that head. The leader of the Dogs, Jay White, repeated blows. Now,
Very smart, get back on the ground. Oh,
Finley ready for him.
he's fighting back on instinct.
Counter there by Jay White. Deadlift German suplex, the bridge. No, Jay White couldn't complete the bridge, came down.
Jay White hurt his neck.
I think so. The referee looked towards Doc Sampson over here. Scary moment here. There's referee Rick Knox checking in.
I wonder if you got we call it a stinger. You know what that is? Sometimes you can hit the back of your neck and it makes your arms go numb.
Right. Or sometimes you just get your bell wrong. Jay White, though, trying to steady himself back up to his feet.
That double chain match, you'll recall the Dogs, man, that can have an effect.
Oh, look how smart David Finley is. Back elbow right to the back of the neck. He smelled that weakness in Jay White. That's great instinct. That's just being around the industry your entire life, 4 generations. Unconscious confidence is what that is. He didn't even think about this.
DDT by Finley. Is he going to take it here? Floats over, cover. Show. And whoa. Jay White kicking out. David Finley.
So close getting that win back after what happened when he did Tournament Redemption. And
I think where he left off, man. I have that feeling that David Finley wants to be Jay White so in a dominating fashion. You know, on the covers and stuff, it's a lot of the dominating moves.
yeah, the Dogs beat the Bank Redemption, but Finley wants to prove he can do it here.
But Jay White, yeah, White got a grip, now body shot, right hand, kicked to the midsection, and Jay White for that cutthroat suplex, but instead, Finley, for once again, Jay White, double underhook, and White has Finley, hit down, Jay White covered, Finley.
That's the same momentum Finley would have on every edition.
Finley able to keep his Continental Challenge Cup hopes alive with Switchblade Jay White, Blade Runner, no, Finley, no, prepare. The Brain Buster,
It is amazing how well these two know each other. I mean, it's tit for tat, back and forth.
I tell you, Jay White at the very last second, I didn't think he was going to get out of that one, gentlemen.
That was fire than frog here. He barely got out of that.
Excalibur, let's not forget, it's the fight to the finish. There's no time limit in these matches.
No time limit, everyone is banned from ringside.
Continental Challenge Cup matches on Lariat. That was just ugly. Yeah, Finley a second one, but White didn't go down that time. The third takes White off his feet.
Those were three full heavy lariats.
Send the message.
You're not kidding. Here we go.
And when he moves on and gets the best run,
Jay White moves on to the quarterfinal round, joining Claudio Castagnoli, Orange Cassidy, and Eddie Kingston, our main event, Jungle Jack Perry, John Moxley, first round action. We will hear from the new AEW Straight Champion. And the AEW World Trio. But let's take you back to last Wednesday night Grand Slam Mexico to see how they got it done, defeating Japan. The deal at 21 points. It was won by Tony Leon, Hangman Adam Page.
unleashed a devastating buckshot lariat, and new champions were crowned in Mexico City. Gentlemen, soak up the moment. You deserve it. You're a champion not only in Ring of Honor, but you're a champion here in AEW. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. And the message is for Brother, you've been a trios champion before, and you're a trios champion once again.
You know, Tony, I'm a man that likes to have his actions speak louder than words. But Las Vegas,
W World Trio. Hey man, you're wearing gold once again here in AEW. How does that feel? Well, it feels great. I do want to ask a question. Do you mind if a white boy speak a little Espanol? Oh.
wait a second.
Yeah, what he want?
About to interrupt the crowd. That Prince Nana at the top of the ramp, that can mean only one thing.
Word Strickland had returned. But has he returned to rekindle rivalry with his man Adam Page?
So much bad blood between these two. The 10th moment here.
Like he said, he should let me go.
We're about to think we've seen him since the final of the 2026 Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament.
Tony, every week you come out here and your breath just rinks even more and more. Get out of the ring. Get out. Swerve and I will be asking the questions moving forward. But my first question for the night is this. Whose house?
Good now.
Yo, what's that phrase? What's that word? Trauma bonding? Do my eyes deceive me or something? Or do I see three guys that I had blood with over the last couple of years together, being friends and like just grouping together now like kumbaya? Not only that, y'all are trios champions. Oh my goodness, like I haven't been gone that long. What the hell happened to this place, man? I mean, look at y'all three. Y'all have absolutely nothing in common. Well, one thing. Me. I mean, look at you, Bandito, the most wanted. You know, I stomped the old town and I terrorized every single person in it and left them almost dead. You know how you responded to that? We tear the house down at Double or Nothing in New York City, but ultimately, you failed and I beat you. Which led me to you, Brody. You know, the past 10-year history between you and me, you can't change that. That's why we go so hard. That's why we fight the way we do. That's why we go to war the way we do with one another. But the last time I seen you, you were laying face down in a pool of your own blood. And it's funny, all this history always seems to come back to you. You know, early part of this year, you and I were actually on the same page, no pun intended.
I take my eye off of you for 1 second, and look, you go off to the AEW World Championship, and look what happened. You lost. Not only did you lose, you lost any opportunity of going for the AEW World Championship again after that. So, I have to ask you, what is the history, what is the legacy of Hangman Page now, huh? What's your story going forward the rest of your career? You're going to be riding off in the sunset with these two?
Swerve! Unlike you, I didn't take my eyes off of you. I watched what you've done for the majority of this year. And you really don't have much room to be talking about results, do you? Because I have watched you do some heinous shit this year. And you ain't got nothing to show for it.
Trio champion, absolutely not. The demand calls reinforcements.
Can you please explain to me what in the blue hell are you even doing out here? Because this is official trios business.
I don't know if you know what a trios is, but uno, dos, tres, un, deux, trois, 1, 2, 3. As far as I can tell, there's only one of you out here.
Well, that is unless Prince Nana has now decided to step his old decrepit ass back into the ring again. And believe me, I hope that is true because I know for a fact that Toa and Khan would love to put your old ass down for good.
And Swerve, listen, I genuinely believe that you would be able to have a group of guys like this that don't completely hate your guts to watch your back, so you can even challenge for these titles, but I don't even know if you remember how you got yourself in this situation in the first place. It was you and everybody out there that decided to turn your backs on me and shower me in toilet paper. It was you and Prince Nana that for some reason had the bright idea to drop and completely abandon GOA, but that's okay because I saw their full potential just like they saw in me, and I was the one that led us to become the World Trios Champions. Championships that were actually stolen from us by you three morons standing in the ring next to him. Yeah, that's right. You stole those titles from us because you're lucky that this isn't the NFL. Otherwise, there would be instant replay. Instant replay showing that Toa's shoulders were not on the mat for the 3 count. So the way I see it, those titles still belong around our pretty little waists. So with that being said, the three of us demand our rematch. And don't worry, boys, because if the right hand don't get you, the left hand will.
The left hand already was chosen.
This or not, but it's really not safe for you out here because you have 9 guys that hate your freaking guts. And hell, you have more guys in the back that hate you just as much as we do. So why don't you do yourself and everybody here a favor and get to stepping. Get to stepping. Swerve your ass on out of my arena.
Pretty harsh words.
Swerve doesn't get out of my arena. This is between us and these morons here.
Look, I turned those sunglasses into contact lenses.
Get the step. Look at that fucking
Well,
get the step. Get the step. Get the step.
Swerve. Well, he's not the type of man to forget something like this.
Oh, yeah. One more thing. Brody King may be the one doing all the barking, but Ricochet, you the one that's being the bitch.
you know, I think Squirrel's got a point. So if you think you're going to take these trios belts back, why don't you get your dumbass down in the ring and take them? You know what? I think that sounds like a great idea.
The champion's outnumbered 2-1.
That's a great idea, but we're going to do it on our time. We're going to do it on our time.
She's playing games. Bandito, Bobby King, Hangman Adam Page, the AEW World Trios champions. One Strickland back in the mist here in AEW. Fans, we're just 18 days away from All In London at Wembley Stadium. We know that Willow Nightingale will defend her AEW Women's World Championship against Mercedes Moné. And earlier today, Renee Paquette was interviewing Willow Nightingale for an upcoming installment of Close Up. And the challenger, Mercedes, confronted the champion. Let's take a look.
You've been doing this for a long time. You still have a whole career ahead of you, being champion, different championships, etc., etc. But you want to embarrass me? You want to me? Where's the camera, huh? Where's the damn camera, huh? How many things tell me to smile about?
I said we love you.
Dumb bitch.
Mercedes Moné went on social media bragging about the blind side of the song of Willow Nightingale. And things definitely heating up between those two ahead of All In London 18 days from now, Sunday, August 30th at Wembley Stadium.
It's been challenger from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 120 pounds.
Left once again, Great Flag, Mexico. This man was part of the Green Team alongside Darby Allin and Mystico. Taking on the Don Callis family. To get Kevin Knight seen poised to unleash that coast-to-coast dropkick on Darby Allin once again, but Jericho was ready with the Judas effect. And took the match away for his side as Darby Allin, the coffin drop. But this past Saturday at Collision, Tony, Kevin Knight, he called out for his own day on Jericho.
Absolutely, he will never forget that Judas effect. And now, here's Willie Nash, the champion with that title on the line against Willie. I mean, let's face it, Jericho's one of the greatest ever. Oh, this is going without a doubt. And here's a chance now to come to champion right here tonight. Some bravado from the champion, I can tell you that. I just told him, victory by Don Callis. We're going to go out to Georgia. What's the game in advance? Hey, it's the team. Champion.
This Kevin Knight, his potential, I think only matched by his ambition. He wanted to hold the TNT Championship, AEW World Championship. At the same time, he challenged Kenny Omega last month after that. He came up short. But that's not to take anything away from Kevin Knight. He's an incredible competitor. Just with the case of really bad judging.
Well, there's no saying potential is a French word for you ain't worth a damn yet. However, Kevin Knight still
Well, Don Callis certainly has an issue with Chris Jericho because far beyond this match here, Chris Jericho eyeballing Don as he walks away.
This should be a great matchup, gentlemen. I'm telling you that. A great veteran against one of the great young stars here in AEW right now.
Jericho, of course, the first ever AEW World Champion, the Jet Kevin Knight. The most dominant TNT champion in a single reign, exceeding the record set by Darby Allin, exceeding the record set by Don Callis' family member, Kyle Fletcher. Speaking of Don Callis and the animosity you were referencing, Tony, that he has towards Jericho, I think this is personal for Don. He's in his corner instead of joining us here at the desk.
Well, which is good for us, but that's a great point. And not only that, we are seeing Kevin Knight jumpstart the match the same way he did in the Arena Mexico when Darby Allin came down on the skateboard. We saw the replay earlier. Kevin likes to get the first one in, but look at Chris fight back.
The Jet, Kevin Knight telegraphed that one. Jericho delayed vertical subject to a right stern. This one may be over early.
Hey, Paul.
That's why you see Don Callis side and ringside. He knows he's got to keep Kevin Knight in the game against somebody like Jericho.
Yeah, Chris Jericho can still execute with anybody. What a great execution that was on that move, and look at it.
My favorite tag team partner of all time right there.
Really? That says a lot, man.
Yeah, I've had a lot of great ones. Never had more fun, more success than I did with Jericho. Jericho, the hammer throw into the ropes. Kevin Knight, the Jet elevates over, looking for that leaping lariat. Jericho ready for it. To underhook into a backbreaker. The challenger, Jericho, hooks the leg of a man. The Jet able to kick out.
Yeah, one thing about the Jet, because of his athletic ability and his conditioning, the longer this match goes, it may favor the Jet. We'll see.
He's got younger wheels, but young Chris has wisdom. Chris gets frustrated. That's what follows. If Kevin Knight wants to push the pace, Jericho knows how to slow the match down and bring it back into his court.
And look at this, man, going up. Jericho still going up top, calling out to the fans. And look at this ball. There's no defense going here from Kevin Knight. None. He's getting to block these gloves. Oh, Chris Jericho.
Oh, the classic Jericho.
Look at that Kevin's run.
Jericho sends Knight crashing on the floor. Now Jericho, he's eyeballing the Jet on the floor as Jericho ascends to the top.
Still taking risks, Excalibur.
Jericho. He's taking hard on the Jet. Kevin Knight. Oh, celebration. Between our tag team partners amid this TNT championship match. And speaking of TNT, coming up this Saturday night, the Lecture Heat 7 Central, the C3 continues. Brian Cage and Cicero first round match, as well as Rod Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Wow, collaboration meet. Nigel McGuinness, Katsuri Shibata, one-on-one this Saturday night. And Kevin Knight, tremendous agility there. Leaps over and Knight. Kevin Knight, no shortage of confidence on his part, Paul. To make a mistake right here. Give the advantage on Chris Jericho. He needs to stop showboating.
Yeah, I agree, but right now he's laying in here, Paul. It's again, it gets down. Come on, guys. Oh.
No. I've seen Jericho. Look at that. Off the desk.
I think we all knew what he was doing there.
That's right. Call for a choke slam.
Oh, look at that.
Don Callis, a cheap shot. Sorry, let's see what happens. I want to keep pressing the chips.
Isn't it great having Paul here inside of us? Tell him, Paul.
That's a waste of oxygen right there, Don Callis.
Watch out. I'm telling you, through all of this, the Jet's got the advantage.
Leaping lariat Smart on the Jets' part. He outstood high. Well, there's a cover by Chris. Foot, Jericho able to kick out. Don Callis, he may be a lot of things, Paul, but he's got an incredible eye for talent. I mean, he has built the Don Callis family into something significant.
Look, I don't like this scandal. I don't like this scandal. There's no doubt about it. But the thing is, Don Callis has an eye for talent, and he understands how to manipulate talent to success.
That's great. Wow. How about that? Jericho hit hard. I'm not so sure that was, it hit the chest, but it may have been the throat as well. That top turnbuckle bad ball.
Upper clavicles makes it hard to use your upper body strength and his brain.
Yes, sir, man. See, the Jet does not need to do things like that because we have seen what he can do in the ring, not in the ropes.
If he focused with his talent and stopped showboating, unstoppable. But he's young. That's what he's going to do. You know? So
Look at him. All right, Paul, I get it. You're emotional, but you got to stay here, man.
things getting a little heated here.
Don Callis can rile you up, Don. And he wants to do that.
Yeah, he might not want to.
No, I don't, yeah. Did you get Brandon T? Is that what it was?
I was Tony Schiavone versus Don Callis here on the side.
The Jet Kevin Knight putting his TNT Championship on the line against Chris Jericho, the first man to ever hold the AEW World Championship. He wants to add the TNT Championship back to his legendary resume, but Kevin Knight is not going down without a fight, Tony.
There have been 20 TNT champions, and Chris Jericho's beaten 14 of them, but not for the title.
The Lion Salt Jericho is ready for it, Paul. This is all of this is to go for the Lion Salt. Got to remain famous.
Jericho.
This one got shoulder tackle. No, the most dominant TNT champion in a single reign. He has an opportunity with a win here to tie Darby Allin's record of overall TNT championship title defenses, but Darby did over 2 reigns.
Yeah, but Kevin's been going at an incredible pace here. And a lot of times, as you know, Excalibur momentum will carry you along. Watch out.
And brings down Jericho on the rampway.
Knight is amazing, Paul, what he can do.
Slow attack on the time. Fans, of course, the C3 Continental Challenge Cup continues this Saturday on TNT. Plus, we will see the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions Divine Dominion in action this Saturday night, 8/7 Central, TNT, HBO Max, and Tony Khan has just announced that Mercedes Moné and Zayda Steele will meet one-on-one this Saturday night. Zayda wants payback for the attack, the heinous attack on Will Nightingale we saw earlier, and the AEW World Trios Championship on the line, the lethal twist. Challenging Page, Rudy King and Bandito Saturday night. All that so much more on TNT with Jericho seemingly regaining the advantage in this one.
The short-lived Trios Championship because Jalen was struggling. Watching Jericho Nation pay attention to his Saturday night.
Jericho.
Can afford to let this animosity he has toward Don Callis consume him.
Here we go, Chicken Chris.
Jericho. And perhaps that was a ploy to lure in Kevin Knight.
It feels like it right on first time.
And Jericho to the top. Kevin Knight very steady double sledge intercepted by the champion. Back elbow strikes. And then through the legs. Jericho.
He's going
All the night ready for it, a handful of it. Both of them jump in for definite Jericho. Okay, everybody Knight and for it they go. Jericho very nearly took it there at the end of the exchange. I think he telegraphed that Larry Knight drags Jericho down the backside, the assistance of the ropes, Kramer would sum it all the way. Good Jericho. Knight trying to protest, trying to claim his innocence, but Jericho right there. Look at Jericho. About his farewell close. Resolvers. Oh, what a DDT!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
and a good jump by Kevin Knight to slow the pace down. I think the champion felt like the match was getting away from him, Paul.
Let's skip ahead. Our brothers, they set something up. Good job, Kevin Knight, coming out. Gotta give credit where it's due. Kevin Knight's been phenomenal.
Yes, he has. And Tony, we've seen throughout the years, Chris Jericho, that Judas effect, he can land it from just about anywhere, like Kevin Knight experienced 1 week ago.
Yeah, you're right. And let's see if you can look at getting some trash talking going from the top. Right now, the Jet feeling good.
Knight, right defense.
The heck? How did you give Jericho too much time up there? That's a rookie mistake.
Jericho wants it to take more. He's Don Callis went into the ring. What's he going to do? Screwdriver! Hit him with the same screwdriver he used on Kevin right now. Straight into the head of Jericho.
I don't know if Jericho can continue leading. Oh, here we go. Remember the Judas effect?
Drop kick. Slow.
The Jet has to realize who he's going against. The greats of all time. It's not going to go down.
Ryan for a reason.
Jericho. Even though he was able to survive that coast-to-coast drop kick, I'm not sure
how much it took out of him. You're right.
Jericho shoots my head. Wow. Remains TNT champion at least for the moment.
Give Kevin Knight a lot of credit on that one, man. The code breaker from the top, and he survived.
That's a great core strength to Kevin Knight, as I talk about all the time. Core strength gives you the ability to kick out.
Jericho lining up the Judas effect tonight. I'll be able to go. The low blow and then.
Well, he's still up, but he'll be able to say he defeated Chris Jericho. And not many can say that.
How many can say this? All the great fight by Kevin Knight.
Kevin Knight remains TNT champion and that'll become our main event. Jungle Jack Perry jumping off the slick first round action in the C3, but right now, let's hear from the Death Riders.
It's completely unpredictable. I don't know what what's next. And I don't care. I'll keep all the same. Really? We're just competing with ourselves. Against the world. Any number of crazy things can happen in this tournament. My other friends tonight, Jack Perry and I, roll the dice. Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. If you shut the world tonight, Jack, that luckers, that preparation means opportunity. Are you prepared like I am? Do you live it like we live it? Are you ready like I'm ready tonight? Maybe it doesn't matter. Because fortune, she's a habit of doing just as she pleases.
We want that noise.
Action continues here from the desert.
Following contest, set for Paul, a prisoner from Long Island, Chris Statlander. And her opponent, Eva Vance.
That is the most frustrating part.
Chris Statlander, weeks ago, inserted herself right back into the TBS championship title picture. It was Persephone challenging Mile World for the TBS championship. Hikaru Shida passed Persephone the kendo stick, and Statlander made her surprise return to disarm Persephone and allow Mile World to make her first successful defense of the TBS championship, Tony. As Statlander sends Vivi Van into the ropes. Catherine, time.
We're going to see Sheena and Persephone coming up in a tag team match here in just a few moments. Both are big enemies of Chris Statlander. We remember what happened in the ring of Mexico. Stat lost thanks to Hikaru Shida using Thunder Rosa Mexican National Women's title belt.
Yeah, it was 1 week ago. Persephone scored the win on Statlander. Should have asterisk next to it, but what power from Statlander.
Love the power of Statlander. Such athletic ability, too.
And speaking of the athleticism, step up T. Harris takes down Viva Van and Statlander
Charging at Van in the corner. Elevates up and up kick. Greets the former TBS champion, former AEW Women's World Champion, Statlander. Rolling heel kick.
Right to the side of the jaw, Statlander, but that left her a little bit. Guaranteed.
Well, Viva Van has spent plenty of time in Japan, so she's a seasoned veteran of 7 years worldwide.
Oh, Statlander ready for Viva Van there. Head bounced off that top turnbuckle, and now Statlander.
Oh, this is Statlander's dream, man. She's an angry lady.
Well, she's eager to the top rope.
Statlander embroiled in that rivalry, not just with Persephone, but with Hikaru Shida over the last few months. Matches between those two competitors. And now Viva Van.
First with drop kick off the top.
How about Viva Van?
He's getting covered here, take advantage.
Building momentum, Carter May. Wasting a little time there.
One kick out of that.
And 1 second away from a career-making win for Viva Van. First Vietnamese American women's pro wrestler to make an impact here in the U.S. And she can make a big impact right here, Paul.
Well, now Statlander's in trouble. Nice job.
Judo! Whoa!
Toast.
Oh! Statlander dug that one in. Viva Van not backing at all.
Not at all. That's a dojo training Japan.
Right?
Strong style.
Great move by Stat. She is
So athletic to do that power.
You're right. Very, very agile. Whoa, that discus lariat. That discus lariat.
Statlander knew that wasn't enough. Had a little more to it.
Statlander has Viva Van in.
What is that? Chris! That was an impressive win.
Don't mind the focus for Statlander right now. He wants that TBS championship back. Super focus.
And, wait a second. The hardcore legend, Mick Foley, coming in. Fellow Long Islander, Mick Foley. Put the microphone in hand, trying to get some more. That's it, Tony.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. In case you're wondering, the shirt will be available on AEW Shop July 21st.
Shop AEW.
Yeah, shopaew.com. And in case you're wondering, that is my daughter, Noelle, in the front row. So, always great to have you here. Chris, even more importantly than the shirt, even more importantly than my family member in the front row, I just talked to Tony Khan backstage, and he tells me that you are going to be a part of a four-way match next week here on Dynamite, where Maya World will be putting her TBS championship on the line, facing you and two women you've had issues with in the past. We're talking about Persephone and Shida. Your comments, please.
Mick,
Wow.
I gotta tell you, I feel great. I feel fantastic. I feel ready to fight. Now, Maya. Oh, thank you. I am so proud that you are the TBS champion. You deserve that title. She deserves it. Thank you. But Persephone and Shida, I will make you bend over backwards and shove your own head up your own innocence.
Whoa.
For every belt shot, for every sneak attack, Stat Daddy is gonna make you pay. 'Cause you see, I was made for the TBS title. I fought literal wars for the TBS title.
Well,
Stanley won't get a chance to finish that thought. As Foley mentioned, the match, the four-way match official for next Wednesday night. We're right now. Certainly, jumping the gun for a tag team match.
And there's a couple of other top places in Mexico.
Oh.
Here comes trouble. You ready to pick up another job? National championship of Thunder Rosa to steal the win for Persephone.
Wait a second. Persephone and Sheeta around Statlander. Joining forces here tonight. And an assist. Here comes the aid of Chris Statlander.
Yeah, this all makes sense after what we saw last week in Mexico. You know, Statlander, based on what we told that for this week, we've been watching this match very closely.
Kelly Khan has made this four-way match official for next Wednesday night. Final World Championship on the line against Persephone, Hikaru Shida, and Chris Statlander when we return to Baltimore. And speaking of AEW live events, we make our return to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Wednesday, September 30th at the Peterson Event Center. You can scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen. Use promo code AEWTV to join us in Pittsburgh. And then Wednesday night, Baltimore, Maryland for AEW Dynamite. And Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor comes to 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Friday, August 21st. And then Reading, Pennsylvania for Collision on Saturday, August 22nd. All of those events and so many more at EWTIX.com. Persephone.
Yeah. I'm so government authorities. No, thank you.
We'll say this is some treacherous waters for my world, because you know Persephone Sheeta would like to make sure the TBS champion doesn't make it to her match next week, or at least and knock down a few notches.
I want competition forward. They can injure her tonight. There's to their advantage. Although Statlander's also involved. Statlander's got some comeuppance coming.
Tag made to Hikaru Shida with My World. Tags in the Mexican national champion Thunder Rosa. And then ducks on his back elbow. There's Hikaru Shida. So telegraph that a little. Shida was ready for it. Thunder. Back through, roll up. Roll through, I should say. Basso and now Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, Andre takes down Hikaru Shida. Both of these women former AEW Women's World Champions.
Showing why right now, Excalibur.
Rosa, knees to the upper back of Hikaru Shida. Taken down by Thunder Rosa. Cover, leg hooks, and Shida able to kick out. Hikaru Shida, of course, her reign as TBS champion ended last month at Redemption. Wait a second, inside curl, Thunder Rosa able to kick out. It was My World, the shocking victory over Hikaru Shida, Paul, to claim the first championship, first major championship of her career, and first championship of her AEW career.
Yes, one of the most dominant females in the AEW history, Hikaru Shida, which has also changed Shida's attitude. She's been a lot different. Meaner.
Yes, meaner is the right word. And look at Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa, since we're in the national championship, Mexican national championship, has been really looking
reinvigorated.
Exactly the word.
Persephone create some distance, but Thunder Rosa kick to the midsection. And Zigiri, maybe just a toe kick to the side of the head.
Hikaru was ready to pick the bones.
Someone turn around.
Comes Persephone, ankle pick, brings down Thunder Rosa. Short drop kick to the side of the head.
Persephone in there. She, Persephone in a 159-day title reign is seeing another clubhouse. We're a champion with moves like that. You see why.
159 days, Tony, and counting. As Hikaru Shida, Persephone with the upper hand as this tag team clash continues. Lock from the fingers on Dynamite. Don't go anywhere.
I'll tell you right now, you saw momentarily that the TBS champion, Maya World, is in trouble. She was down on the floor holding her jaw. And look at this hold here by Persephone.
Yeah, that block kick the lower jaw into the pull of the neck, put the weight on the back of the traps. Again, saps the strength out of the upper body.
Oh, well, that was a thunderous shot. Yes, it was.
Look at this Persephone. Yeah, mocking my world.
Dangerous if that close to the opponent's corner. I'm more of a fan of cutting off the ring, staying deep in my own corner.
Paul, could it be a case that Persephone and Hikaru Shida, they know that they have the veteran of the opposing team inside the ring, and they feel like they have a little less to fear from Maya World, despite the fact that she is the TBS champion.
Yeah, but they also got to take into account and remember that Maya World is feisty. Push that button too far, and get a handful of volcano.
A handful of volcano. Damn, hold on, look at that one.
It's pretty hot.
That's pretty hot, buddy.
Hikaru Shida cranking back on the neck of Thunder Rosa. You see Thunder Rosa pipping on her hip, trying to relieve the pressure now. Bridging back into a pin predicament and maintaining control of Hikaru Shida. Single-legged grab.
Really cranking that leg.
I think Thunder Rosa is looking great, gentlemen.
Oh, wait a second. Maya World spotted Persephone coming in. She tried to cut her off, but Mike Posey was there intervening. Posey didn't see the interference by Persephone.
It's like the fact that they call like Persephone will work in Thunder Rosa's death right now.
Backbreaker. Leg was hooked.
And what's hooked? They're attacking the back of the neck, under the chin, the upper body. Really making it hard for Thunder Rosa to get her momentum going right now.
It's Persephone. Move Thunder Rosa. Ducks under. And Rosa takes down both members of the opposition. Back over. But Thunder Rosa, if I were her, Paul, I'd be thinking tag here. Not ride this wave of momentum.
Yeah, but Thunder Rosa's riled up. She wants to finish this. I agree, she should make it time.
Again, Thunder Rosa, like you said, she's riled up. She's looking good. She's a champion. And she thinks she can take command of this match. Well, maybe not.
Rosa momentum carried her out to the floor. And then comes sends Thunder Rosa very nearly over the barricade. Welcome back to AEW Dynamite Live on TBS and HBO Max. A tag team battle between Persephone, Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, and the TBS champion Maya World. But it's been Thunder Rosa, Paul, who has been isolated for the bulk of the last few moments.
She and Persephone have isolated Thunder Rosa and really just done a great job of keeping control, keeping the tempo, and just really putting the beat down on Thunder Rosa.
And guys, this has been a great night of wrestling action. We do have one more match. That is our main event for the first time ever. Jungle Jam Hurricane on John Moxley in the Continental Cup. And we're going to stick with that match. Remember, it's a fight to the finish, no time. Until we get a winner.
Backbreaker. Far leg is hard, but Thunder Rosa able to kick out Maya World. She would have been too late for that one. Maybe see our main event at the bottom of the screen. Can John Moxley or Jeff Perry join Switchblade Jay White, who earlier tonight qualified for the quarterfinal round of the C3, the Continental Challenge Cup.
Well, speaking of championship, this is a big match as it relates to the championship. Another great move by Thunder Rosa.
So much experience right there. Little swinger hits through, use all that momentum. Nice double rip.
In comes the TBS champion Maya World.
Off the top.
Maya for the champion. Maya, she has her pick up the opposition, leaping back elbows in the corner. Maya looking to be the difference maker that she and Thunder Rosa need. Low to the back of the head. Now Maya World rolls up Hikaru Shida. Has Persephone in her punches. Oh, look at the power of Maya World. Maya World almost got both Persephone and Hikaru Shida with that one.
Yeah, I don't think you can scout that kind of power.
No, you're right.
Huge dog. I want to leave it all out there. Persephone's in trouble.
My World leaps off the apron. It's got an update about Darby Allin. We'll touch more on that in a moment as this match continues.
I don't think she was aware of the attack, man.
No, you're right, because the It Girl just got to take her suit on the outside.
Diving cross body from Thunder Rosa.
Big knee.
Man, these two girls are leaving it all around these four. Help them.
Shida ready for Thunder Rosa. Ducked under the roundhouse kick. Answered with an elbow. Bates in. Thunder Rosa swinging and a miss by Hikaru Shida. Thunder Rosa. Powerful elbow strike. Double underhook. Avoided by Shida. Comes underneath the jaw with a knee strike. Hikaru Shida. Set the round one. Just in the nick of time.
Great save, TBS champion coming in. But now she's in the clutches of the CMLL Women's. Oh, maybe not.
Remember, it was back at the Survival of the Fittest match beginning of July in San Diego, the first ever in AEW to decide the new TBS champion. It's really where Persephone showed her true colors. As Maya World rolls through. Stunner from Maya World.
Taking on both ladies. And she's the legal woman in the ring with two.
And Maya went for the Enziguri on Hikaru Shida. Whoa. Didn't connect with that one, but Persephone connected with the elbow strike. And now Hikaru Shida charging in, jumping in Persephone. Nice to the position. Great thrust kick from Maya World. Maya. Whoa. Reaches back. Whoa.
This match is taking on Thunder Rosa. Maya World. What a win for Maya. The momentum for this witness.
Boy, she once he's a champion, that's for sure.
Maya World taking advantage of the miscommunication between Persephone and Hikaru Shida once again pinning Hikaru Shida, but next Wednesday night will be every woman for themselves for the TBS Championship. Chris Statlander, Persephone, and Hikaru Shida challenging Maya World with family member Darby Allin. Just a few moments ago, he was seen speaking to Tony Khan, and our cameras had caught up with Darby Allin. Let's take a listen.
Everybody got questions, and I got some answers. Everybody's asking me, what was it like to lose the world championship, Darby? Well, I haven't had time to think about it. Moments after I lost, Kevin, you were attacking me. As for the world championship run, I had no regrets. Every single week I was defending that championship. I took a gamble and I lost. I was burning the candle at both ends. But it's funny, because now, Kevin, you're the one burning the candle at both ends. Every single week you're defending that TNT championship. Hell, tonight you beat Chris Jericho, the first AEW world champion, one of the greatest to ever do it. But you didn't do it the right way. All those years ago when we first met, when you were only 2 months into wrestling, maybe I was wrong thinking you were going to do the things the right way. But what I'm not wrong about is knowing how far I'm willing to go at Wembley. Falls count anywhere. There's no amount of training you can do to get ready for this, Kevin. And if you can beat me at my own game, then you officially lived up to the potential that I saw in you all those years ago.
Wow. Wow.
Congratulations to you successfully defending your international championship. Thank you.
So much. Renee, Speedball might really always brings the best out of me, but regardless, still in the midst of the greatest international title reign of all time, which leads me to what's next. What's next for me and what's next for this championship? Well, if you've been keeping track, I have now defended this championship 3 times in 3 different countries. So, thinking of that, I think we add another one to the list for defense number 4. So I'm looking forward to the United Kingdom, to Wembley Stadium, and to all in.
I am so glad you feel that way because, you know, in my weekly golf game with Tony Khan, he pointed out to me that there is an international champion, a former champion, who has not had a rematch. So, Tony and I are predicting.
Do not tell me I'm defending this championship against Takeshita.
Technically, yes, but I was able to extract something from Tony Khan in that conversation for us. You see, I remember there's another international former champion that has not had a rematch. So you see now, already it's going to be great. It's going to be Kyle Fletcher versus Takeshita versus. Here's the thing. Now, you're not very good at math, so I'm going to make this simple. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, I have a 66% chance of Don Calstone retaining his title. But I think with my guys, you two working together, there is a 100% chance that the Don Calstone will retain his title.
What about my tits? What about my title reign?
Kyle, the only thing that matters is that the international title stays in the family.
Oh, what a gonorrhea, my man!
Where's it?
Wow, all in Jamie starts slow on Bridgeway for the AEW International Championship, but now time for Dynamite main event. Let's go to the ring. And the referee offers Justin Roberts.
Yes, main event. First match in the AEW Continental Television. Introduced first from Los Angeles, California, weighing 190 pounds. Jungle Jack Perry.
Jungle Jack Perry, huge opportunity here tonight. Let's head to the mat for Nate McJaspers. Update, take it away, Nate.
Tonight we are taking things back to the beginning of AEW 2 men who have been here from the beginning and never wrestled each other in singles competition. This is also the only combination of wrestlers who together have held every men's singles championship in AEW. It is also worth noting that this was do or die for John Moxley. If he loses tonight, we are guaranteed to see a new Continental Champion at All In.
Thanks for that, Renee. Big time main event. A statistically interesting main event for Renee Mexican, but also a first-time one-on-one matchup between these two men.
Yeah, and how do you prepare? Well, there's plenty of video out there, but it's hard to prepare your Jungle Jack Perry for what's about to hit the ring. And like I said earlier, right during the last match, no time limit. We're going to stick in this match as long as it takes. Remember, it's a fight to the finish.
As in all Continental Challenge Cup matches, everyone is fans on the side of Jack Perry. And this man,
And as for the from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 231 pounds, he is the AEW Continental Champion.
Notice John Moxley entering without the Continental Championship. We'll touch more on that in a moment. The fans who are watching All Elite Wrestling on TBS, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save with bundles on home and motorcycle insurance. Visit progressives.com.
Oh, you know,
I've been doing all that wrestling since the very start of Dynamite back in October. I've always wanted to see these October 2019, not last October. You understand that? I mean, I think that you realize that. But anyway, October 29th, I've always wanted to see these guys live. And I think a lot of things echo that as well. And thanks to the Blind Raw, thanks to anything goes where you can reach into the helmet, the Jack's helmet, and pull out the names, we're going to see these two go at it. I'm really excited to see Jungle Jack how he can contend with John Moxley.
That's what makes this Continental Company's got so exciting. You would think with the accolades of both these guys have accomplished here in AEW, they would have met before. But right now, first time ever tonight, here we go.
John Moxley, Jungle Jack Perry squaring off. Moxley has made 7 defenses of his Continental Championship. However, the title's been essentially frozen right now. The winner of this tournament will win, of course, the Continental Challenge Cup, and they will be crowned AEW Continental Champion. It could continue to beat John Moxley, but if Jack Perry were victorious here tonight, it would mean that a brand new champion would be crowned in 18 days' time at All In London. You still have a chance to join us in Wembley Stadium, AEWTIX.com. Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen.
Are you guys surprised that Moxley is willing to start this out wrestling on the mat?
Not at all. Not at all. That's a strong suit for John Moxley. People think of him as a brute and a brawler, but they forget the fact that John Moxley is a very accomplished wrestler.
Accomplished wrestler, also a jiu-jitsu background as well, or death jitsu, as he refers to it, which he has employed on numerous occasions. Jack Perry, though, backing John Moxley up to the ropes to force the break from referee Paul Turner.
That's clean break. Shows a lot of respect. I appreciate that.
I noticed with the bell ring that Jack was kind of looking around at the fence, but John Moxley kept his gaze right at Jungle Jack Perry.
Yeah, John Moxley's one of those laser-focused guys. He's not really concerned about what's going on in the crowd. He's focused on his opponent.
Here's trouble for Jack here, Excalibur being back against the ropes.
John Moxley, swinging a miss. Jack Perry, overhand shot.
I never would have thought that Jack would be the first man to get the blow in.
Being the first doesn't mean he's the best. John Moxley, he's got gunpowder in those fists. As Jack Perry, though, takes Moxley up to the ringside area. Jack Perry drop kick through the ropes. Knocks back Moxley. Back once again. Jack Perry on the move.
Just touched him with an elbow strike. Well, he just knocked his hands right out of the air. That's what he did.
Wow, talk about getting your bell rung.
Now, Moxley, Perry goes head first into the steel ring and John Moxley with the upper hand. And remember, the first round of the Continental Challenge Cup will conclude this Saturday night at Collision. We will see the remaining 3 first round matches this Saturday night, 8, 7 Central on TNT and HBO Max. Head to Sarah, Ryan Cage, Don Callis, family members meet, as does the conglomeration, Ron Armstrong, Kyle O'Reilly, and our broadcast colleague, Nigel McGuinness. Faces Katsuyori Shibata, a spot in the quarterfinals, on the line in all 3 matches this Saturday night.
You know, a lot of times you let emotions carry you away, you fall. But you don't want to get outside of the ring with John Moxley.
Jack Perry, I believe, cut open. Yep, he's got that steel ring post that Moxley bounced his head off of. And Moxley's stalking him here. Tosses the shot, Jack Perry boot up, trying to back off his aggressor. Chop getting shot, but Moxley sends Perry head first into the death. And look, gets underneath does Jack Perry. Perry on the attack. Perry blocks him. Moxley, too strong. Disrupted the momentum of Jack.
I don't know if Jungle Jack can continue. I know he's a remarkable athlete, but he is taking some punishment on the inside.
John Moxley
trying to undo the damage he's done to our desk. I'm sure that would have been the case if Paul White wasn't here. Well, I was trying to hold it together, but it's held together now with a hope and a prayer and some bubblegum. I'll tell you that much. This table's gone through hell tonight.
Now, Jack is over to my left. He is underneath the bell table, which, as we mentioned, broken. Doc Sampson, as you can see, is with the rubber gloves on. Is going to check on Jack.
That's a little trouble. Paul Turner's making a count. Free Paul Turner.
Oh,
He's going silent. Wait a second. I mean,
here he comes again. Here he comes again.
If there's any silver lining for Jack Perry, is that he was put through the timekeeper's table immediately in front of our ringside physician. There's a lot of trouble. Even more blood pouring out of the face of Jack Perry.
No, again, come on. No.
Perry, the head ricocheting off of our announced desk.
Notice the intensity of Moxley just turned up when he sees that blood for water. He's got those long dark eyes like a shark.
Was he short?
And it just seems, Paul, that when the opponent starts to bleed, that John Moxley even ups the violence.
Absolutely, he's excited about it.
Oh, God. Oh, the right hand knocked Jack flat.
Look at the blood on Moxley's head. Oh, you look at it.
No. That's another level of crazy.
I agree with the fans.
Give it to Jack, man. He's pulling himself up.
He's all hard, but he might be in a lot of trouble right now.
Well, you know, Paul, this all started when Jack dove on the outside. Once on the outside with Moxley, it changed the complexion of the match.
That forearm shift to the skull won't Jack's bell. He's been downhill ever since.
Exactly.
And Moxley's not the guy who's going to take his foot off the gas either. He smells weakness, he's going to pick you apart.
Hand on the forehead, holding the head up.
Digging his teeth into the head of John Jack Perry. Jack Perry, immense trouble here.
Jack Perry keeps getting up to his feet.
Welcome back to AEW Dynamite. Paul White, Tony Schiavone, myself, Excalibur on the call for this first round match in the AEW Continental Challenge Cup. A spot in the quarterfinals on the line as John Moxley has bloodied and murdered Jungle Jack Perry.
John Moxley is an absolute savage in this match. He knows it, he's feeling it. I'm telling you, it's going to take a hell of a Jack Perry to make a comeback.
Of course, this Continental Challenge Cup, the C3, will culminate in 18 days' time at Wembley Stadium, all in London. And not only that, Tony Khan has made it official. The AEW International Championship will line in a three-way match. Kyle Fletcher will have to contend with the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, and the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, and also official a TNT Championship tilt between Kevin Knight, the Jet, and Darby Allin, but it will be Falls Count Anywhere in Wembley.
I cannot wait for all literally 18 days out at Wembley Stadium. What a night and what a week it's going to be in Great Britain.
Of course, in this Continental Challenge Cup, Claudio Castagnoli, Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston, and Switchblade Jay White have already clinched the spots in the quarterfinals. Right now, Paul, is looking increasingly likely that John Moxley will advance to the quarterfinals.
Blood on the rope. And there's a lot of guts for Jack just to reach the ropes to stay in this. How about that move by Mox?
Listen, great ring awareness on Jack Perry to reach out to that rope. He knows he's in trouble. He's fighting for everything. Moxley is systematically dismantling Jack Perry right now.
Moxley has Perry. Oh, that's the one. On the comebacker, Legito. He's bounced off the chest of Jack Moxley.
This is the blood. Taking a beating like this. Hard to summon the strength. Boot to the face. Moxley is so efficiently vicious.
He's a monster is what he is. And Moxley loses, we're going to have a new Continental Champion.
Well, you take a miracle right now. A drop kick. And Perry's doing a dig. Jack. A tope suicida. And Jack Perry now done looking to pour even more than tope this time. So smart is getting momentum. He's another job. A second and oh, that's for the trifecta.
Where is this energy from? It's all total. It's all.
And Perry.
And he's still there. This is a championship opportunity for Jack Perry. He's got to rise up. He's got to seize the opportunity. Keep it.
As Renee Piquet mentioned, this is the first one-on-one between Mox and Jack.
The only possible combination of all 5 men's singles championships in AEW. Jack Perry.
Just does Moxley. 1, 2. Moxley kicks it immediately into the sleeper.
I think my goodness, so
Great boy by Moxley, but Jack Perry reverses. Perry, drop kick intercepted. Moxley makes a break to the
That's got. Oh, I was thinking that's got to be it, but Moxley's not done.
Thunderous lariat from Moxley, and now through the legs, the
Good night. It's over.
Moxley. 1, 2.
It's over. How about the kid?
Man, this has got hard. So close.
And Moxley's pissed. He's angry. He thought it was over.
Moxley runs. Got him flush underneath the jaw. 2. A very late kick out by Jungle Jim Perry. Boy, this Continental Challenge Cup is so good. Remember the first round? Determined by a blind draw. The quarterfinals. Everyone who advances, their names go back into the mixer. And John Michaels is so very excited to be out.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the Paul Turner wins with that. Trying to call Moxley off here.
And Turner, he just gave a look to the ringside physician, and
yeah, now he's communicating with him.
John Perry's helping here. This is a vicious beating for John Moxley.
Perry's
grabbing him. I guess he's still in it here. It's gunfight. He does not want to bring the doctors in. He is ready to fight. He wants to continue. Here we go.
John Moxley.
He's frustrated. Moxley's frustrated.
Moxley.
That was wonderful.
A defiant slam across the jaw. John Moxley from Jack Perry. Even more defiance from Perry.
Look at this. What a main event we're in. Remember, there must be a winner, guys. Must be a winner.
Jack Perry. No, from John Moxley.
And Moxley has some heavy blows, too.
No, Jack Perry.
Man, Perry just standing up straight.
Screaming his lungs in the face of John Moxley. Either walking forward into those blows, but Moxley. Charging in. Jack Perry. Looking to continue to apply pressure on John Moxley. Perry. Looks to go to the Continental Champion. Picking up Driver Evans. Perry, no, Moxley to his feet. Perry rolls through. Stick it. And oh, Jack Perry, a snapshot. He's got Moxley.
And then Moxley suffers the trouble. And remember, Moxley in scenarios like this in the past, Tony. Watch the look at Heath as Moxley comes and loses it. Jeff Perry changes up his grip, not quite too long, but it's close. And you see Moxley doing a little hand fighting.
Trying to get some space around that neck so you can breathe.
Oh, almost had the fingers of Jack pounded his way out of it that time. And now Jeff Perry, once again, slips into the S grip. Moxley trying to fire some fists into the head. Perry, now, maybe a bite, no. Instead, transitions underneath. Remember, we had 4 men already, so we're halfway through. This starts the second half. Matches, body shots from Jeff Perry opened up the defenses of John Moxley. Perry, if Jeff can do it, we're going to have a new champion. Not tonight, but at Wembley, no matter what. To your point, Tony, but not Moxley. It's flying up to Jeff Perry. Look at this. Well, he's got it all. Look at this pass. This is for Jeff Perry. And Jack maneuvering
locked in, and almost locked in so deep under the chin.
Perry up to his feet. But in one condition, he's also lost a significant amount of blood. He's fading. Referee Paul Turner, eye to eye with Jeff Perry. Whips the keeper Perry. He's up and then back down. Moxley switches against he's going to look. And Jeff Perry fading. 4 eyes, the hands go on Jeff.
Here's your ring. The AEW Continental Champion, John Moxley.
Wow, what a match! John Moxley has now joined Switchblade Jay White, Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, and fellow Death Rider Claudio Castagnoli in the quarterfinals of the Continental Challenge Cup. Those matches kick off next Wednesday night when Dynamite comes to you live from Baltimore. But this Saturday, 8/7 Central on TNT and HBO Max, we will see the remaining first round matches in the Continental Challenge Cup. Also on to John Moxley, taking to John Taylor, fight. Wow, the Continental Challenge Cup. There's a visit. And also next Wednesday night in Baltimore, the match for the TBS Championship. Sheena versus Stephanie. Statlander challenges my world. On TNT.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does bring this live stream to a close tonight. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again soon with more wrestling content.